Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a cool package to open. This one is from Quiet Carry. So I reached out to Quiet Carry and I asked if I could check out their new model. I said models because I didn't know what they're dropping when, but I think this is the large drift. Yeah, look at that. I think they're calling it the Drift CL or something. This might even be a prototype. I'm not sure if they are selling these yet or not. I don't know too much about it, unfortunately. Okay. Damn, this is a big boy. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a bigger drift, guys. This is interesting. Check this out. So you have this orange striped G10 and an orange backspacer. Those aren't my style necessarily, but I like that they're trying to do colors. They have a blue one, I think, as well, maybe a black one, so you can kind of pick your poison. Then you have a titanium lock side. Man, that contouring is really nicely done. Pretty sure this is made in Taiwan, where most of their other models, they've only done one that was made out of Taiwan. That was in China by Best Tech, I believe. And that was like the large IQ. Everything else has been Taiwan. It's an LC200N. So I wonder if they're doing all of this G10 LC200N to try to keep the price point down and get more people involved in their products, because if they could sell this for $250 instead of $300, $325, I think that would do really well. And then they have a larger knife, right? So let's see how we're doing on detent. Left-handed, we're probably not going to be able to fire it. Okay. I had to get down on the clip. That's okay, guys. I'm left-handed, but not everybody is. I can get on the pivot here and fire it. So, it might not be, if you're like me where you want to have a lefty, you want to be able to just pick it up and rip it. It might not be the best knife for you, but oh my God, look at that action. It's like the 9. This one's on bearings, clearly. So they're kind of going to bearings lately. The 9 was on bearings. The large IQ obviously was on bearings. This action is phenomenal. Yeah, that's good. You have a really, really well done thumb hole. I love the shape. It's kind of different. They changed it a little bit. Look at that. It's got sort of a half moon, kind of like a peanut look, or not a peanut, a pea, like a little green pea or something. Dead centered, right down the center there. That contouring and that chamfering on the edges is very noticeable. I like that. And then you have some knurling along here. You obviously have the knurling pattern on this side. You have the 4 dots, Quiet Carry signature. You have a clean show side. You just have the Chicago type screws on each side. Man, that thumb flick is really good. The detent, at least with the thumb flick, feels really good. Now, yeah, reverse flick is good as well. Yeah, you have a little bit of lock bar blocking your reverse flick, but you can still get plenty of finger in there. And I think you'll learn to kind of go to the bottom of the hole and just fire it. You're kind of doing like sort of a side flick, so to speak. I think if I weren't dealing with the lock bar thing, I would be doing it kind of like the F5, where on the F5.5, I just kind of press my finger in and push. Kind of just do that. I call it kind of like the push flick, like that. That's what I'd be doing with this if I had that access, not the lock bar there. So like right-handed, you just kind of push forward. It is literally a guillotine. I can't even, let me see. Doop. Let's see if there's any play or anything. No, there's no rock or anything. We have, let's see what we got for milling. Okay, so it looks like we have a steel liner. I'm assuming steel, I could be wrong, on the show side there. So it looks like a half liner. You can see it's only on that second half there on the far side. And then you have a long steel insert, just like on the 9, if I remember correctly. And then you have that titanium lock side, internally mounted clip. This clip is phenomenal. Carries over from the 9. Weight-wise, the G10 brings the weight down, but I'm going to put this guy at 4.5, maybe 5 ounces. I'm actually going to grab my shipping scale. You just drop it on there, and I'll tell you. 4.6. So we're at 4.6, which I think is fine. I mean, like the buzz here, this is our model is, let's check the size comparison here. Yeah, I mean, we're right around the same size. I think probably 3.4 on the quiet carry. We can measure that in a second. I mean, they're very similar. I think it might be a little bit thicker, but very similar. Just a little bit larger overall on the quiet carry and a little bit heavier. This is like 4.0, 4 ounces. This is 4.5. But, you know, you have that steel liner in there. That's part of why. I think they're trying to keep the cost down here. I think that's what's happening, which is awesome. You know, I love to see that. Let's get some measurements. Let me just zero that bad boy out. I like to zero it and then test it. So I can take this 1/4 inch bit. You can see, yeah, it's coming in, reading it right. So thickness wise, we are at 0.553. Yeah, it did feel a little bit on the thicker side, but you have to remember it is fully contoured on both sides. So that is why it's a little bit thicker to do that. But in hand, it doesn't really feel like chunky. It doesn't feel like a Chavez or something. It feels like a really comfortable knife in the hand. So that's good. What else? What should we? I got the calipers out. Might as well fucking caliper away. I suck at this, so let's see what I get. So 0.11 stock makes sense. Let's head over to the ruler here and see if we can't get this blade length measured out. Maybe we can do it this way instead. Let's see, tip to frame 3.5. Yeah, we're right at 3.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and say maybe a little bit short of 3.5 inches. And then your handle length is going to be 4.5. So you're at 3.5 and 4.5. So that's 8 inches overall. I just said this in another video. That's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. So they're hitting the sweet spot. You know, the drift is a little bit smaller. The OG drift, I think, is around 3 inches. So that's a really good size for them, I think. And again, ergonomically, you have this little cut right here. They killed it on the 9 with that, and this is pretty much the same. I will say it does feel a little bit thicker right-handed because of the clip. I can feel that clip in my palm. It's not uncomfortable. It adds a little bit, where left-handed, you know, you kind of just wrap over it. It feels a little more solid. But again, that's, you know, I'm a lefty. So, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. It's different from quiet carry, and I really like to see that. I do. I'm really happy with this. Let's grab something and cut it. Use some paper here and just see if she can cut paper. Oh, yeah. So, the LC200N is nice and sharp, as expected. Their grinds, all of that stuff has always been phenomenal. The plunge grind looks fantastic. I can see it drop off right there. Looks like you have tons of space afterwards to sharpen. People are going to love that. What else? That steel insert, I can, you know, possibly guess that is going to be made of LC200N. I'm not sure. They tend to do that. So that liner might be LC200N as well. They do that to make sure everything's rust-proof. My other guess is they're using, yep, I can tell already. They're using what looks like Delrin, or, you know, black plastic caged bearings. So what does that mean, Kev? Well, that means you can't rust them. You have plastic which is like a nylon or Delrin, not plastic, good shit. And then you have ceramic balls inside of that, right? So what does that mean? Well, that means that you can't rust any of it, right? So if you have LC200N on the blade, the liner, the steel insert, and then you have marine grade steel hardware, which I think they usually use, and then you have titanium, this thing cannot rust. But you have bearings. So you get to enjoy the fidget factor, take it to the beach, jump in a pool, whatever, and it won't rust on you. Now, is it going to be as good as the Waypoint or the Drift when it comes to working in sand or muck or a shop or something? No, because it has bearings. So, you know, you can gunk it up a little bit quicker. But that's going to be a case-by-case basis. And I venture to guess that most of us are not in that situation. There's definitely some of us that are, but most of us are not. Most of us are collecting knives or, you know, just EDCing knives, so it's not a problem for us. But we like the idea of rust-proof because, like me, I sweat a lot, and I tend to rust knives that are in my pocket when I do that because they're just sitting in moisture. So this knife is perfect for that, especially if you like a larger sized knife. So I think another good comparison would maybe be like the Relative. I wish I had the 9 here because this feels like a Drift just smashed together with a 9, which is awesome in my opinion. But the 9 is loaned out right now. So we have, yeah, I mean, they're pretty much identical in size. So if you have a Relative, you know how this feels. And we can show you the thickness head to head here, right? It has that little bit of thickness that goes on the, you can see it on the outsides, but it's because of the curved nature. Up here, it probably isn't as thick because, again, it's just curved here. It's contoured there. Yeah, this is a sweet one, dude. Shout out to Quiet Carry. I really appreciate them letting me check one of these out. I don't know if they're released yet or what's going on. I'll link anything I can. I'll link their Instagram. I'll link their website, and you guys can go check it out. I don't know the price. You know, I'm going to try to figure that stuff out, and maybe I'll do a rapid review video before I send it back, because I am sending this back. So I will get info that I can, but I wanted to show you guys and just get a look at it. And I appreciate Bryce and the Quiet Carry team for kindly sending this my way to look at. So thank you very much for that. You guys have always been an absolute pleasure to work with and a great supporter of the channel. And that means a lot to me. So check this one out, guys. Again, I believe it's the Drift LC. Could be wrong, but I think maybe for large and then, you know, LC200N. Could be wrong. Again, everything linked below. And yeah, awesome knife. Especially if you're right-handed. It definitely works left-handed. I mean, you're going to be able to thumb flick it. No problem, right? And then if you just get on the pivot, easy reverse. Honestly, it's not a problem left-handed. Just right here. And you're good to go. So detents money. Everything feels so solid. And one thing that stands out to me is this lock side. It makes it feel like custom, sort of. Kind of has a custom feel to it. Is that clip landing on the lock bar? No. Good. It has sort of a custom-y feel to it, like custom CNC feel to it. That is 100% a compliment, in my opinion. But, yeah, this is dope. This is dope. Good job, Quiet Carry. This and the large Waypoint are coming, and both look really, really cool. So, shout out to them. Love you guys. And I love all of you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.